Hey guys, it's Natalia and today I'm going to be finally doing a part 2 to my new adult romance book recommendations. So I did one a couple months back. It was specifically for Valentine's Day of this year and you guys really enjoyed that. I've been getting some messages asking me when I'm going to do a part 2. So here it is. So I have 6 books that I've already talked about on my channel, but I thought I would mention again because I definitely think that you guys will enjoy them if you're looking for a new adult romance book recommendation. So yeah, let's just dive on into the book recommendations. So the first book I'm going to start off with is one of my all-time favorite books by one of my all-time favorite authors, which is Shameless by Lex Martin. So in this one we follow Brady, who becomes the guardian of his niece Izzy because his brother and his sister-in-law get in a car accident that wasn't their fault. It was due to bad weather and they both sadly pass away. So he ends up moving into their ranch because they have a ranch and like they have lavender fields and I think they have some kind of animals, I think. And he meets Catherine there. Catherine was someone that lived with both Brady's brother and his wife because she helped them out with their lavender company because they made something to do with lavender. I can't remember what exactly, but she is kind of younger a little bit than Brady, but if it wasn't for her, Brady would be so lost. So she ends up staying on with Brady, living at the ranch, helping him take care of Izzy, and it's just their romance and how adorable it is. I fell in love with both Catherine and Brady from the moment I started the book. We already met Brady in Lex Martin's previous series, the Dearest series, because he was friends with Danny, or he kind of dated her a little bit, but they just remained friends. And I just love him. He has tattoos, he's artistic, he's a sweetheart. Catherine is amazing. She's a nerdy girl that is just adorable, and I just loved reading about their romance. It was just great. I highly recommend it. So the next book is actually the second part to this duology, but they are standalones, so you can read them as standalones, but this one takes place a couple years after Shameless, and this one's Reckless by Lex Martin. So in this one we follow Tori, who is Catherine's younger sister, and she's kind of like a screw-up child. She just messes up everything she does, sadly, but I felt very bad for her. So Catherine and Brady, who we met in the previous book, end up getting her a job with Ethan to become a live-in nanny to both Cody and Mila, who are his kids, because Ethan is going through a tough divorce and he also has a ranch with I think horses, and he's like a horse instructor, so he doesn't really have time to like be a stay-at-home dad even though he works from home, if you know what I mean. So yeah, Tori moves in and it's just their relationship, like how it develops. This book really made me realize how much I love it when kids are like one of the central plot devices in the story. Odie and Mila are just adorable kids and I want the best for them. They're just so adorable and I love Tori and Ethan, and it was just such a great book. So I highly recommend reading it if you're in the mood for like a ranch romance, or if you really love reading about guys falling in love that are horse riders or like work on a ranch, because wow, this book made me swoon. And seeing Ethan, even in the previous book with Brady and Izzy, like seeing Ethan talking with his kids and interacting with his kids, like it made me realize like when heroines in books say their ovaries are exploding when they see a guy hanging out with kids, like I understood it because my ovaries were exploding as well. But such a great read, highly recommend it if you're looking for like a great new adult romance. So the next book I'm going to be talking about is one I actually reread recently, and that is To Love Jason Thorne by Ellen Mace. So if you're not new to my channel, if you've been here for a while, you know Ellen Mace is one of my all-time favorite authors. I just love anything she puts out into the world. Her story is just great. So in this one we follow Olive, who becomes a successful writer, and her book is so successful, I believe it's a new adult romance as well, that she ends up landing a movie deal. And going to her first meeting about her movie deal, reveal, she finds out that Jason Thorne has been cast as the main lead in her story. And Jason Thorne isn't just a typical celebrity, he is someone from Olive's past. He used to be best friends with Olive's brother, and of course he was her first crush, so it just follows the story on from there, like them filming the movie and their relationship progressing. And I just love the time jumps between like what Olive and Jason were like together when they were younger and then when they're older, and like all the shenanigans that occur during this plot. Like, it's just amazing. I love both Olive and Jason, they are just sweethearts. I love just this book, so I highly recommend it, of course. Then the second book that I'm going to recommend to you is again another Ella Mace book, and that is To Hate Adam Connor. So this is kind of like a similar situation as with Lex Martin that I recommended to you before, where you can read this after To Love Jason Thorne because it's a loosely based companion novel, but you don't have to read them in order. So if this story interests you more than To Love Jason Thorne, you can read it first, but you will be spoiled a little bit for what happens in To Love Jason Thorne. But in this one we follow Lucy, who is Olive's best friend. Her living situation becomes very uncomfortable, so she ends up moving in with Jason and Olive, and next door to them Adam Connor, who is a newly divorced A-list actor, moves in with his son, and Lucy meets him in a very weird circumstance where she ends up landing in jail. Like, she tried saving his kid, but he thought she was trying to break into his house, so she lands in jail. But after all that, after all like the mess is resolved, she ends up becoming a live-in nanny because Aiden, I think that was the son's name, is only comfortable with her, and you know he needs a nanny because he's a busy guy. And I just loved it. Lucy is one of the best protagonists. If you're looking for a hilarious protagonist, look no further because Lucy is that and more. She was a funny side character in To Love Jason Thorne, but in this one she was the star of the show, and you could tell. Just loved her. Loved Adam Connor, of course, as well. Him interacting with his son. Again, my ovaries exploded. Have we gathered now that Natalia loves reading about guys that take care of their kids? I think so. So if you're looking for a cute romance that's hilarious, here it is. Definitely read this book and tell me what you think because I just love it. So the next book I have here for you is On the Way to You by Candy Steiner. So in this one we follow Cooper, who is a 20-year-old girl that all she wants to do is escape her small hometown, as it's just not for her. So once she is given the chance, when she encounters a stranger, Emery, and he gives her the choice to go on a road trip with him, she takes it for sure. So why I love this story so much is because it deals with heavier topics of like Emery dealing with depression, and I just loved Cooper as a main protagonist. So she loves books, she loves her dog, and she loves yoga, and she meditates. I have never read about a character that does yoga and meditates, or at least meditation part. I think I've read somewhere where a character does yoga, but like meditation, like she was just so excited about life. And then when you have this opposing love interest that has depression, and I don't want to say too much about that because it could be a spoiler, like seeing those two opposing views to life, it just made you realize how life is precious and the people in your life are precious. So I just highly recommend it if you're looking for a kind of road trip romance that deals with heavier topics, because this one is a good one. There were some things that were annoying about it, like Emery not really sharing his thoughts or his past or what he was thinking, and then Cooper finding out through a very unorthodox way. Like, that way just did not agree with me. It was kind of annoying, but I think a lot of people might still enjoy the story like I did. And then the last book that I have here for you is Sincerely Carter by Whitney G. So in this one we follow Arizona and Carter, who have been best friends since the 4th grade. They did kind of hate each other, but they became best friends, and literally their relationship was platonic. Just friends, no sexual attraction whatsoever, until one day just a spark clicks in place and they start seeing each other as more than friends. So I'm a sucker for friends to lovers romances, so of course I fell in love with this story. I loved Arizona and Carter. At first Carter seemed like one of those cocky guys that I would hate, but he was actually a sweetheart the more we progressed into the story, because he really put Arizona's dreams and goals and just her first. so I really enjoyed that. And if you're looking for a cute friends to lovers romance that might break your heart at the end of it, look no further because this one is a great one. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that is it for my new adult romance book recommendations. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope that you found some new book recommendations and new books to read. Definitely let me know down below some of your favorite new adult romance books, as I would love to know, because I really am lacking in like romance reads at the moment, so it would be nice to have some recommendations from you. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!